Let's get into a very underrated Bruce Willis film. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about my third review of a Walter Hill film this week, and this film is Last Man Standing starring Bruce Willis. This film came out September 20th of 1996. It's rated R, hard R. It's an hour and 41 minutes long, and it had a budget of $67 million, and unfortunately upon release it grossed 18 in America and 47 worldwide. So this movie was not a hit, unfortunately. Matter of fact, this was the third big budget film New Line had that year, and all three of them underperformed at the box office. The other two were The Island of Dr. Moreau with Val Kilmer, and the other one was The Long Kiss Goodnight. I liked The Long Kiss Goodnight a lot, and that movie underperformed as well. Now this film is a loose remake of Yojimbo, a film that was directed by Akira Kurosawa, which is a legendary film, and New Line saw it as a futuristic remake, and kind of in the vein of Mad Max or Escape from New York. When Walter Hill came on to direct this picture, that's not how he saw it. He saw this picture taking place in a small town in the Depression-era Texas, and that's where we are, 1930s Texas, in a little town called Jericho. And there's two mob factions in this town, the Italian mob and the Irish mob, and that's pretty much it. They're the only game in town. There's a saloon that's still open, and the guy who runs that's still there. There's an undertaker that's still in town, and there's a few other services, and the sheriff, which we'll get into, who plays the sheriff in a second. Let's go down the cast right now. We got Bruce Willis playing John Smith. We got the great Bruce Dern as the sheriff of this town, Sheriff Ed Galt. We got Christopher Walken as Hickey. He is the big-time enforcer that everybody's afraid of for the Irish mob. And we got David Patrick Kelly, who we just spoke about during my The Warriors review. He worked with Walter Hill before, and he went on to work with him a few other times. He plays Doyle, who is the head of the Irish mob in this town. And basically, that's these two mobs, these two mob factions run this town, and they have a truce at the moment until this stranger shows up, John Smith. And Bruce Willis's character voiceover goes in and out over this whole film, explaining what's going on. And he explains when he gets there that he's broke and he's just looking for someone to lay low. Well, he sees an opportunity here. He has a brief run-in with the Irish mob, ends up killing a couple of their guys, and he goes to work for the Italian mob to make some money. And his plan is to play each mob faction against each other, so he can make some money, profit off of it, and maybe take out a couple scumbags. Although he is not a good guy in any stretch of the imagination, he will be what you would call an anti-hero like Snake Plissken. So he goes to work for the Italian mob at first, but the Irish mob want him for him because they realize how good of a gunfighter he is. And it goes back and forth. He plays the game back and forth over this whole film until the Irish mob boss Doyle has this woman who he is absolutely in love with, but you can tell John Smith knows she doesn't want to be with him. So he sets up to get her out of town. I'm fast forwarding over a lot of stuff. I'm going to highly recommend this movie if you've never seen it. It's a highly underrated film, doesn't get talked about a lot, or doesn't get enough praise in my opinion. There's some people that love it, but a lot of people never heard of it. And if you've never seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. So anyway, he hatches a plan to get her out of town, but unfortunately the Irish mob are onto him, especially Hickey, Christopher Walken's character. And they beat the shit out of him, but he gets out, and the sheriff and the guy who runs the saloon in town help take him out of town and help him heal up. And he comes back with a vengeance, basically kills the Irish mob. In the meantime, kills all the Italian mobsters, because by this point the truce is off, because John Smith's been playing them against each other, and they go for debate, and the Irish mob ends up killing all the Italian mob. Well, John Smith ends up taking out the entire Irish mob. At the end, we have our final showdown between Hickey, Christopher Walken's character, Doyle, and this other guy, and John Doyle kills them all. The last person he has to go up against is Hickey, because they built this up through the whole film about Hickey's this badass guy. But John Smith has his number, and he takes him out, and he drives off into the sunset, and that's the end of Last Man Standing. I did go over a lot of things. I don't want to spoil everything. There's a lot of twists and turns. He plays both factions of these mob factions in this town of Jericho. And his whole point is he wants to make some money. Now, along the way, he helps a few women out, get out of the town, and he helps his woman that's with Doyle get away and go back to Mexico, because she has no interest in being with him. She's kind of held captive against her will. But Doyle is in love with her, but he sees that she is not happy. So he does a few good things, but he's not a good guy. But we root for him because these other people are just way worse. So he is definitely the best person to deal with these guys. And it's fun to see. There's lots of gunfights. It's very hyper violent. a little over the top, but it's played dead serious. I mean, people get shot and they go flying through windows and doors. It looks cool as hell on film. Walter Hill films the gunfights spectacularly. They look great. Bruce Willis knocks his performance out of the park. Everybody's great in the film. Even the actors I didn't mention are fantastic in this film. It's a shame upon release it didn't do that well at the box office or with critics. I think there's kind of a cult following for it, but I know a lot of people never heard of this film. So I would give Last Man Standing a 9 out of 10. I think it's that good. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. A 9 out of 10 for Last Man Standing. Have you ever seen this film? Leave a comment down below, let me know. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share this video, I greatly appreciate it. I want to thank everybody quickly for helping me get over 100 subscribers. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's way more than I ever thought I'd get. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you that have subscribed to my channel. Hopefully we get to 200 and go on and so on and so forth, but I really appreciate helping me get over 100. Thank all of you. I wanted to thank all of you, especially at the end of this review. I hope everyone's doing well out there. Have a great weekend, and I'll be back next week with some more reviews. Thanks. Bye.